What is up, Broncos country? Mike Carmelini, mic'd up, Broncos live. It is great to have you guys. Saturday night, feeling good. Had a thought. Remember last year, about this time, and all the talk, all the rage was how Bo Nix was the sixth, perhaps the sixth best quarterback in the draft, and how the Broncos should wait until later rounds, trade back, and pick him up in the second round. And so what did Sean do? Sean Payton drafted Bo Nix at 12 without hesitation. And I think we find ourselves back in that same position again where we have a strong running back class. We have a big running back need. And yet here we are talking about not taking a running back in the first, moving back, getting more picks. And it's the same sort of thing all over again, right? So since I can be convinced and I'm willing to listen to people who are smarter than me, which accounts for what, 69% of the human population, I'm willing to listen to the argument. However, I don't know if Sean Payton will, and that's what's going to make this draft so fun and so interesting. So we'll take a quick look at kind of what's been going on. And I just wanted to break this down for you guys. As a reminder, this is what we went through last year with Bo Nix. And how did that work out? All right, first let's set the stage a little bit. This is not a mock draft. I don't do mock drafts. And Daniel Jeremiah's top 50 is not a mock draft. But I thought it's good to look at kind of where he says the talent is in this draft, right? So if you're talking about last year, you would say it was a big quarterback class. There were a ton of quarterbacks. Bo was the sixth one, and he could be gotten anywhere in the draft, depending on who you listen to, even the third round, according to some people. So anyway, so DJ comes out with his fine 50 here, and he's got Abdul Carter up at the top, Travis Hunter, of course, and there's Ashton Genty. So there's your first running back, number 3. And this is all arguable, of course, and it's fluid as all this stuff changes. And I think some of it changes based on what teams are saying too. People have seem to have trouble holding on to their own what they think and then standing by it. But Daniel Jeremiah is pretty good at this stuff. So we've got an edge when we have a running back at the top. So here's your first defensive tackle. And then, of course, Jalen Warren, who I really like. Now you get into some skill position stuff with Tyler Warren, who I think is falling down. There's Loveland, who was the dream of Broncos country for weeks. And now you don't hear his name anymore, which is, maybe it's an Evan Ingram thing. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments what you think, why Loveland is disappearing, if that's just fatigue or whatever. He's got Cam Ward at number 8. I'm not a big Cam Ward guy, but it doesn't matter. The Broncos, right? We've got our quarterback. Don't care. They can do whatever they want. Here we go. So let's keep rolling down. We got OT. We got offensive tackle. I mean, is that even in play? And so now here's Amarian Hampton, who has been mocked to the Broncos a lot. And now in the last few days, we're hearing that Hampton may not even get to us. So that also kind of affects we can get the guy later. I warn you, you wait till later, you might not get that talent just because it's a running back. There's only so many special running backs. I don't care what anybody says. These are all good players. Here's, certainly Amika's in play. Maybe Golden's in play. I'm not sure. And then there's Ted. Hey, Ryan's in the house. Welcome, Ryan. Thank you. I am also still dreaming of Loveland. Thank you. I still think it's a position of need just based on Evan Ingram's age. So you see kind of the top-heavy talent here. So the push right now in a lot in Broncos country is let's go ahead and get someone on the interior defensive line. Some of that's what Philly did to Kansas City in the Super Bowl, which makes perfect sense. But we kind of need to look at our roster too. Are we going to get cute? Are we going to try and get cute? Or do you want Sean Payton and George Payton to get cute and perhaps pass on one of these top running backs that could land in our general area enough to grab them right at 20, or maybe move up a couple spots to get them. It's a risk, but I'm not closing the door on it. Here, there's a lot of good names in here. There's some good edge rushers in here. And then, of course, there's Walter Nolan, which I am a fan of, and Grant. So not really a whole lot more to talk about here in the top 50, but I did want to point out that Trevion Henderson is sitting here at 34. Now, this is as of a bit ago. So if there is now talk that Trevion Henderson might not make it to 20 now. So if there's this big bull rush on running backs, how does that second round, third round, late running back thing start to look? Well, we'll have to see about that. But real quick, let's look at. Let's check your comments here. We got D Bronx in the house. He's also still dreaming of Loveland. I like that. And Marky, of course. I think fit's always more important than talent. Obviously, you can have both, but there are backs that fit us better that we can get later, in my opinion. Interior D line in the first would be okay. Well, see, and this is why I'm doing this, because of people like Mark, who I respect and have said this, and I thought it would be good to dive into it a little bit and see if maybe I can change my mind. Actually, I want to do something here. I'm going to open this up, and I want to show you guys something that our boy Andy did. Here it is. All right, can you guys see that? Good. So here's his running back rankings. So Genty's gone. If Amari Hampton's gone, now Trevion Henderson has a chance of being gone. This is before 20. Now here's a name that several people have been throwing at me or at Broncos country lately, is Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, whom I do like a lot. And then, of course, there's been this talk about Jukins too. But I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. What's up, Rich? Good evening to you as well. I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on these guys. And, of course, Devin Neal. Now, the rest of these guys I don't know. So I'll have to defer to the experts out there on their thoughts on this, and maybe others. But I thought it was interesting that there's a chance that these guys can be gone. And then we're down to these guys. Now, you're moving back at this point, right? So this is where's that line? Because I don't think it's at Trevion Henderson anymore, where you can say, okay, Hampton and Genty, of course, are gone, and now we're going to move back, collect picks. If you do that, you run the risk of missing these interior defensive linemen you want. You also maybe miss the chance on getting a quality back. So it's all a risk. I don't know that I would be down for any of that, but I think it's probably a good study to, let's see where we're at. Now I'm going to use a few, I guess, articles from Zach Seegers of Let's Talk Broncos. He did this nice offseason position review for all these positions we're talking about. And I want to start with edge rusher. Okay, so it'd be edge rusher and then the interior defensive line. I think we need to look at where we are versus where we are at wide receiver and running back, because those are the two positions we're kind of playing with here. And I'll get to your comments, guys, in just a second. But let's get through the edge rushers first and just kind of see. So obviously, we're going to start Nick Bonito. This is going to be A through F grades, I'm sure. And Nick Bonito is going to get an A-ish. But he had 13.5 sacks. He was third in the NFL, 10th in total pressures. I mean, he had a great season. So, so A- for Nick. It's already starting out good for the edge rushing crew here. And then Coop should be next. So we got Jonathan Cooper, who also had a breakout year. I believe I thought he had 8 sacks. I don't know where he is, but he had a good year either way. Oh, he had 10.5. I'm sorry, 10.5 sacks. My bad, Coop. So he's coming back, so that'll be strong. He gets a B. And Jonah Ellis, there was some flashes with Jonah too, right? So this room's looking pretty good, a B-. and then Tillman's going to get an A based on where he came from and what he did. Let's see. Yeah, A+. Wow, Zach must have been feeling good that night. They've already brought him back on whatever the exclusive rights, I think it's called. And then Andrew Farmer, who's kind of a non-factor right now. So there's that room. That's one of the rooms we're talking about taking in the first round. So you would be looking at probably a depth position here. Let's say hi to you guys. Let's say hi to Rich. Good evening, sir. And D Bronx comes in. He says he likes Caleb Johnson, but he's pretty scheme dependent with the wide zone. Oh, see, this is why you guys are here. I like that. Yeah, I agree. So the tier of running backs after Genty, but none of them strike me as special backs. So that's the risk, right? We're I don't know, stealing from Peter to pay Paul or something like that. For the O-line, draft big uglies, average backs will look great. Okay, so Rich is right about that. However, the Denver Broncos were 6th best, I believe, in the league for pass run rate, which is run blocking rate was 6th in the NFL before first contact. So that's pretty good. Most valuable position is a defensive tackle who can stop both the run and pass. And we need that. I'm not arguing that, and that's why I'm here. And so based on that, and thank you for that, Rich, let's go right into this, the interior defensive line. And here is where we're going to talk about Zach Allen, who was one of the best in the league, clearly. And Zach Seegers gave him an A+ for his season. Great stuff. Guy needs a contract. Let's get him signed. We brought back DJ Jones, who's going to be probably ranked fairly high as well. He gets a B+. Nice. And he got a 3-year deal worth $39 million. So he's going to be here. And this is not, before you guys jump all over me, this is not saying that the interior defensive line is set. It's not. We need a big body in there, at least one. And we do have issues with some of these other guys in their contract status too. So JFM had a great year as well. He gets an A. I like that. And where's Roach? Here's Roach. And what did he give him? An A. So Zach Seegers, who I love and respect, seems to think we have a very nice interior defensive line already. So again, if we draft someone in the first round, is this a rotational depth player? So it's a need or is it a want? It kind of sounds like it falls between need and want to me. D. Bronk comes back in, says Kenneth Gratton, Derek Harmon fit that bill. Would love either of them at 20. Yeah. You're not going to be sad about that. Speaking of myself, I'm not going to be sad about that. I'm just saying it's a risk. And so I guess the question would be, if, let's say Hampton is there, are you going to take Derek Harmon over Hampton? Let me know in the comments or the chat. And please, guys, like and subscribe if you haven't. Right up against 600. Be nice to hit 600 before Perna comes in and realizes I'm just a D-bag with 600 or 595 followers or whatever it is. Here we go. All right, so running backs. Here's one of the other positions we're looking at, right? Running backs. How did we grade our running backs from last year? How big of a need is this? Javonte Williams. What do you think Javonte Williams got as a letter grade? I'm going to say D or F, right? He was 40th among 41 qualifying backs. He got a D-. So this is before he signed in Dallas. Thought he could be brought back, but that has sailed. And then here's Jaleel, who's a nice change of pace back. Did some nice things, flashes, right? He certainly has some flashes. So I'm kind of a fan of his, but he's a tell. He's struggled in other areas. I'm guessing his grade is not going to be great. Yeah, a D. And Bidet, probably a better grade, a C+. It's probably our highest ranked running back and a guy who essentially did nothing the whole season except got hurt. And then Audric Estime, who was benched for the Buffalo game, gets an F, which I think is a little harsh. But, that'll play out next year. He'll be in camp. And, we'll see what happens. So Blake Watson get a grade, C-. So this is the lowest graded room so far, guys, is kind of my point. So this, so far, seems like the biggest need. D-Bronx, and again, hard to watch that Bills playoff and feel good about the defensive line against the run, against the big teams. Absolutely. Great point. That was scary. I didn't like anything about that. However, Dre Greenlaw, Hufanga are going to help patch up that middle some, and might be able to help those interior defensive linemen. And I'm not saying we don't draft. I think we still need to get someone on the defensive line. I'm just talking about that first round. We're willing to risk a big need area like running back for a defensive line, which is a need one, like, or whatever it is. But there's also one other position we have to consider, right, guys? Wide receiver. Now, this is highly debatable. However, happy to report that looks like Court's coming back, which is great. And Cortland Sutton, a 1,000-yard receiver. He gets an A. He was Bo Nix's favorite target. A lot of that by necessity because nobody else could get open or catch the ball. Now Marvin Mims. I'm curious about this grade that Zach gave him. B minus. I mean, I guess that's fair, right? Because early in the season, there wasn't a lot going on with him. And I think we can talk about whether that was Sean Payton, whether that was the offense, whether that was Mims. My understanding is that Mims is having a little trouble figuring out option routes and which way he's supposed to go after the snap. But looked like some of that was fixed, and he ended up coming on really strong at the end. I think he's your wide receiver too to start the season. That's been debated on mic'd up several times. We'll see how that goes because Vele could very much be in play for that as well too. So, but I think we can agree. Mims. And then Vele, he's got to gave him. So Zach is obviously giving Devon Vele an A+ based on where he was drafted, what was expected of him, playing with broken ribs. And I think that's fair. It doesn't mean he's an A+ receiver or he's a wide receiver one, but who he is, where he came from, what he did for the team, I would give him a B+, but I understand why he graded it this way. After that, this probably can't be good. Troy Franklin, God bless his soul. I mean, he even shows it. That's cold. He even gives a picture of that. Dropping the ball. Gives him a D. Yeah, little Jordan Humphrey's gone, so why bother? All right, so there's the 4 positions I guess we're talking about, right? We're trying to figure out, can I be talked into interior defensive line? Sure. I just want to identify that it's a risk, right? It's a little scary that these positions, when you get past, you start getting into Jackson darts, and then here's Jukins right there. Is it Jukins or Jukins? Jukins. Be cool if it was Jukins because he's a running back. I don't want to be standing at the dance, when all the chairs are taken, or however that saying goes, because like you can find some big bodies in the draft later too. Is that a true statement? Let's go back and check your comments, guys. Harmon over Hampton, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know that you're alone there. I mean, that's why I'm here, right? I've heard that from other guys too. Richie Rich, it'd be okay with us moving on from Estime. Yeah, depending on how camp goes, Rich, we'll see. I don't have any information on why he struggled so much. I don't know if if it was just his play or if it was practice, attitude, what he wasn't picking up. It's always hard to tell with Sean Payton because getting into his doghouse, sometimes it's weird. Like you can look kind of crappy in the game, but he kind of will blame that on somebody else sometimes, to the amateur eye like mine. And sometimes it's hard for me to get a read on what his problem. And with Estime, it was kind of that way too. I'm not really sure what the deal was with him. If you guys have any ideas what that would be, I would love to hear that. Marky pops back in. I think it really boils down to your draft philosophy. If you're drafting for the next 1 to 3 years, take a back. If you're looking for 3+ years, look basically anywhere else. Yeah, kind of, right? I get that. Anywhere else, I mean, even quarterback, but not quarterback, really. I mean, that's just me being silly. But would we honestly? I mean, gosh, I'm torn, guys. I'm still torn. I agree with the draft philosophy, like best player, then need, but then there's that need best player thing too, and that comes up when you have a real need. They didn't pick up anybody in free agency yet for running back. We talked about jelly knees, Dobbins. People have talked about Nick Chubb. Most of the other ones are gone, and I'm sure there'll be some leftover scraps after the draft when all this stuff shakes out. There might even be some draft, day trades or something. Oh, that's right. It was fumbles, Rich. Good call. I thought those were early though. Anyways, so I guess veteran running back is still on the table out there somewhere, but I guess I'm just like, I would be more worried if the draft is over and we got an interior defensive lineman that you guys are all happy about. Let's say it's Harmon or whoever, but if we did that and didn't come out with one of the 5 or 6 good top running backs, I think I would feel worse than if it was the opposite. In other words, if we got out of there with Hampton, Henderson, I mean, you can argue a few of those other ones, guys. You guys are the experts, but I would feel better if we had the running back and then maybe didn't know if the defensive tackle was all that, and maybe he wasn't the one, or we didn't get one, and then maybe had to, dig into the Roach JFM type market again, which we did very well with last year, if you remember right. These were scrap heap-ish pickups, and we kind of went to town on those. I would say, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Rich estimate fumbled at the stat line wise at an unacceptable level. Yeah, wasn't it early though? I guess I can't remember. Yeah, not quarterback, strictly in the first round. Right. So I mean, I knew that, but in the first round, like what position would I be upset with? Yeah, probably not too many. I'm just saying we're in a position where, yeah, it's all good. Like we can do that, but I hate our running back room, and I think we need to do something there. I would like to bring this up from Nick Kendall, friend of the show. Here's why the Broncos drafting a running back in the first round isn't a slam dunk. So this is not the only article I've seen like this. It seems like, and I read the article, and it's a great article and well written by Nick Kendall. If you don't know who that is, you can find him on this here website, Denver Broncos SI, and also on MHH Network. He doesn't actually like prefer either one in the article, but I think he kind of does based on my conversations with him and on Twitter. I think he would prefer us taking one of those defensive linemen as well and call that a win. And maybe that's the right thing, but I haven't seen the evidence yet that really sways me away from my position. Marky, I disagree. I'm happy to debate that with you. Here's the thing about Rich. He's happy to debate anyone about everything, and that's kind of what's great about him. D Bronx comes back in. Thanks, D Bronx. There are so many backs that can play even outside the top 50 list. Martinez, RJ Harvey, Scatabo can all play day one. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I kind of thought that about Jaleel, and I thought that about Audric Estime last year too. But then, and that's not blaming. You can't come back and blame these guys, right, for whatever. But yeah, I think take a punter in the first. All right. Yeah. Would you guys? I mean, you guys are going to go down that far on that list to the 10th back, 8th and 10th best back in the draft when it's such a need? I don't know, man. I just don't know if I can get there. Andy, he was the one that had that fine, like this bad boy here. This is Andy's. Just so you know who you're dealing with here. So you're talking about these guys, right? D Bronx down in this area. Now I'm starting to like this guy more, Caleb Johnson. But at 20, see, this is why it's weird. Like I think I could handle these right here. Obviously, we can handle that. That's not happening, but you can handle that. You can pass on Omari and Hampton or Henderson. I don't know. Seems a little scary to me. Anyways, let's get back to Andy's comment. Andy says, QB, kicker, and punter are the only positions I'd be upset with in the first round. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, corners. I mean, this is all dependent on who's good in the draft, who's not good in the draft. I'll leave that up to you guys. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking at wide receiver. I'm still looking at wide receiver and running back. There's just some really, really good players up there that I would love to see lined up on the field with the team. It's on the offensive side of the ball when they line up this year. I care about depth and I care about long term, but guys, the offense disappeared a lot last year. I would like to have some weapons. I can see. I'm going to get you guys together, Richie and Mark. I'm going to get you guys together so that you guys can hash all that out. So not as high up. D-Bronx isn't as high on Hampton as Broncos country is. He would take Henderson. Yeah, at 20. If you had to take one at 20. Yeah, and that's the question. Do we have to take one at 20? I don't know that we do. We certainly don't. And again, with all the options that are out there, versus just need, right, guys? Like it's not, it has to be best player with some need, doesn't it? I mean, for me, like you can stockpile, they always say you can't have enough corners, you can't have enough edge rushers, you can't have enough this. Eventually you're going to say that about almost every player. You can't have enough of these and you can't have enough of those, but you can have enough. You can have too many eventually, because if they're not playing because there's no room on the field for them, you have too many. I don't know that we're there yet, but I go back to last year. A lot of people were like, build the trenches, build this. And then here's my least favorite statement, and then you can get your quarterback later. Like you can just go to 7-Eleven and buy one. That's not how it works. Like it has to be your guy. It has to fit your system, your scheme, and you have to be the one that's all in. Because when a team's not all in on someone, you know what happens to them. They make a couple errors and they're gone. So it really depends on fit, like how much the coach loves you, like how invested they are in you. Like Bo Nix did not play really well at the beginning of the season, did he? But that is Sean Payton's guy. I mean, he is actually pretty crappy the first quarter of the season. He had a few flashes, but I mean, he was pretty bad. As much as I saw him through orange-colored glasses, when I went back and watched after the season, I was like, wow, I really glossed over that. There was some bad stuff there. But then he was kind of on fire for the second half of the season. In fact, he wasn't kind of on fire. He was very much on fire. And yeah, I loved it. So, but that just goes to show how important it is to have a coach and a team that loves you and believes in you. Andy, on a Broncos specific board, I may just have Henderson above Hampton. Hendo fits like a glove. Is Hendo short for Henderson? Or is there a running back named Hendo that I don't know about? Somebody will educate me on that, make me feel even dumber than I do. Blind BPA sounds better in theory than practice. You have to fill your roster out somehow, right? And so we have holes in the roster. I guess that's my point. I love being so close that we're at the point where we can say, hey, defensive tackle, edge rusher, cornerback, gosh, I hate to say like tight end, all those positions all fall into positions we could take and I could feel good about. Running back, certainly. Wide receiver, certainly. Don't talk to me about centers or anything in the first round, obviously, but later, great. But right, like best player available sounds awesome for the Broncos because we're close to that. But I just can't get away from like the need. Like I think we really need a stud running back for Bo Nix. Like what a gift that would be to be able to hand it off to a guy that can get you four, that's going to help you get those first down, not leave you in third and longs, without getting all, acting like I'm an analyst or something. It just seems like it might be a little helpful. You hear something so long over the years that a young quarterback's best friend is a running game. When you've been hearing that as long as me, you might start believing it, like it might be true. And I think it is true. I think we do need to, really, not that we do, because Sean Payton and George Payton could give two shits what we think, of course. But I think it's interesting, and I think it's fun to talk about. I am hesitant to buy into the whole the defensive line to the point where I would say I hope we do that. But I will say, if we come around to 20, we don't move, and they get one of these really stud defensive tackles or edge rushers or something, and it's an appropriate slotting for them in the draft, you're not going to hear me complain about it. But if we do that with the thought of picking up that running back later, it's the risk. Do you end up having to blow picks to get back up? Do you trade out of that pick and go back? I don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening. I think Sean has his eye on a couple guys at that spot, and I think he's going to go get them. Please let me know in the comments what your guys' thoughts are. I love your comments in the thread or in the chat. That's awesome. And as a reminder, just a plug for me, the show Thursday night, this Thursday, we've got Brandon Perna, That's Good Sports, and Mari Vitanzi from Altitude Adjustment will be on the show. I believe that is at 8:30 Mountain Time. So that's going to be a crazy one. These little numbers that I do right here, they are just kind of my fun stuff. Like I like to talk Broncos with you guys. I love that you guys come in and chat with me on my Saturday nights because my wife, the golf course is open, so we're always busy. Nobody's ever home except for me, so I get to do this. I get to hang out with you guys. Drew Bronx, Kliss is almost guaranteed running back by 51 or earlier. Yeah. I don't think that's the question. Like, will we get one? I think we'll certainly try to get one. But if you guys have, are you confident that your guy is going to be there at 51? Are you confident that is Sean Payton confident that his guy is going to be there? And he's going to be working those phones, asking all his buddies. He's probably going to throw out some misdirection or try to, and that's what's fun about watching Sean Payton kind of work that draft. And George Payton's got his guys out there, and I think they're going to identify someone good. How about a big, one of those big stud wide receivers? This draft is going to be so fun, guys. Gosh, I can't wait for this because things are going to change. We don't really even know, Shedeur Sanders, is he going to go top 5 or is he going to go 25? There's a lot of unknowns this year, and I think it's going to be fun. And I can't wait to watch it with you. I think I'll be actually on with somebody. I've got something on that later. Everybody's going to be live streaming that or something. I think I'm going to be. I think me and Ben from Sports Talk Denver are going to do a live broadcast of the draft too. So that'll be fun. Anyways, guys, I'll let you guys get out of here. It looks like we've kind of covered everything I wanted to cover. I loved it. I love talking this stuff with you guys. I love that you analyst types come in here and set me straight and make me feel, like I'm covered. I don't have to say too many stupid things that people aren't, tuning out thinking, geez, what's this idiot talking about? He has no idea what he's saying. Yeah, love you too, guys, man. Appreciate it. Go Broncos, go Bo Nix, go running back in the first. Just kidding. Whatever they do, right? But we'll be there for it. And hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go see who else is on right now and pour myself a little drink. So go Broncos, guys. Good night.